What's up, Pedovera reader? So I'm recording this video to supplement the article below. So in case you're in a rush or you just want kind of a different angle on the tips that I'm writing below, I'm recording this video for you. All right. So tip number one, in terms of the low-hanging fruit that you might be overlooking, is that email templates will hurt your business and are generally a waste of time. Now, this is a tip that I actually built into the email marketing system, which is a product that Pedovera offers called SaberBlast. We felt very strongly that although we could have replicated the functionality of some other popular email marketing services out there that have full-fledged editors where you can create a beautiful, fancy template to your heart's content, we actually didn't do that because we felt that that is actually a barrier to actually sending out emails on a regular and consistent basis. And in addition, if you look in your own inbox and you look at the emails that are often very ignored, you'll find that many of those emails are highly templated. It's almost like having an email template is kind of a signal for people these days that, okay, you're a corporation or you're a brand and you're going to try to sell something to someone. Like, for example, Costco was the example I used in the article below. So stay away from email templates if you can. If you can't, just keep your template really simple, and try not to keep it, try not to make it too salesy. Second tip is short email subject lines increase open rates. Now, I actually found this to be true from testing it myself in the last couple of weeks. So I've been seeing a pretty high open rate overall, about 40%. And then last week, when I tested for the first time, my email content was pretty much the same, but the subject line was different. It was about, I would say, maybe 40 characters long instead of the typical 5 to 10 characters that I normally use. Our open rates dropped by about 60%, so that was pretty significant. I also include some research down below, if you check it out, from Mailer, who gathered some data on this, showing that email subject lines between 4 to 15 characters rather, have the highest open rate. Next is you want to offer a clear incentive to describe and show social proof. Now this, rather offer clear incentive for people to subscribe and show social proof to maximize the number of subscriptions that you're going to get. And a simple example of this comes from Jay Baer's blog, Convince and Convert, where he says, join 21,000 of your peers and also get this free gift. So right there, he's using social proof, where he's saying, 21,000 other people, they can't be wrong, right? And second, he's kind of offering you a small bribe, a gift, right, for signing up. And it makes sense, right? Because if you're reading his blog, the gift that he's offering is relevant to the content and the problems that he looks to solve in his articles. There's a second example I included here from Derek Halpern's blog that shows how even if you don't have a huge email list, and Derek actually does, but in this case, if you don't have a huge email list, you can just use a quote from a friend of yours, maybe someone with some credibility or has some achievement worth noting, like Chris Brogan said about Derek's email list, "I'm totally loving social triggers." And Chris Brogan is a New York Times bestselling author, so he's pretty credible. I should probably go ahead and sign up for Derek's blog, right? Tip number 4, develop a dedicated newsletter landing page. This is one of the easiest tips that I include in this list because, especially if you have WordPress, within literally a few minutes, you can put together and launch a new page. Just write some text, write a simple headline about why people should sign up and subscribe. If you have any social proof, like logos, logo porn, as some people call it, logos of clients or places where you or your company has been published. You want to include those. And just keep the message simple. I mean, this doesn't have to be a long landing page. I mean, it's a newsletter that people are signing up for. They're not, going to pay $1,000 or anything like that. It's a free offer. Tip number 5, add more email opt-in forms with fewer fields. In this section of the article, I go into really pretty specific detail, and I share with you how my opt-in rate has really changed as a result of not only adding more forms around the blog and around my website, petsolvera.com, but I also talk about how just by removing a single field from our newsletter sign-up form, that actually had a significant, about a 50% increase in our opt-in rates. So that was pretty exciting to see. Number 6, you want to write like a human, not like a robot. This one, a lot of other experts have also kind of echoed this. So I'm putting it here too because it definitely is one of the lower hanging fruit that a lot of people tend to ignore. And also a lot of people just, for some reason, they feel like they want to project themselves as being this huge corporation, right? But when it comes down to it, people prefer to buy from people, and for whatever reason, in psychology, it's easier for someone to trust an individual and the voice of an individual in the way it's expressed, rather than to trust some kind of anonymous corporation, like, in the case of We Are Costco, obviously they're a more established brand, but okay, like, some more anonymous brand that is presenting itself as a corporation, not speaking in a personal tone. You're less likely to trust them instead of, oh, I'm Bob from marketing from Anonymous Corporation, and I have, this is what I do on a daily basis. You're more likely to trust Bob than you are to trust, Bob's Anonymous Corporation, right? And even if you feel like you're not good at writing in a personal tone, it's really all comes down to practice, which leads me to my next point and the final tip, which is that you want to send your email marketing messages on a very consistent basis, whether it's 1 week, whether it's once a month, once a quarter, whatever it is. Pick a timeline and stick to it. And try not to make excuses. A lot of people say, oh, it's too much work, or I don't want to have to commit to something and then give it up. The fact is that by being consistent with your messaging and following up over time, it creates a feeling of anticipation. For example, I'm sending my newsletters and my blog posts out once per week, and in doing that, it creates a sense of anticipation for our subscribers. Maybe you're a subscriber. Hopefully it created some anticipation for you this week. And by following through and then receiving it, it's fulfilling that anticipation and expectation that was created, that yes, Thursday afternoon is when we deliver our blog post, and here you go, right? So that just builds trust that much further, and over time, that can lead to more sales and referrals and all other sorts of opportunities. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this article. Last thing I'm going to mention is that if you want two advanced bonus tips, just put in your email address at the bottom of this blog post or wherever the form is. Maybe I'll put it right below this video. Just type in your email address, and I'll send you 2 bonus advanced tips. And in addition to that, you'll also be subscribed to our weekly newsletter, so you get more awesome articles just like this one. So thanks a lot for listening and reading, and take care.